So today's lesson is 10-7, which is find the percent. Okay, so the first thing you did this morning was watch a video on finding the percents on Khan. And I wanted to talk to you about all the methods again. Now remember, we have several methods that we know how to use. We can use the bar diagram, ratio tables, double number line, or the equivalent ratios. The ones that we're going to stick to, I know I said we're going to stick to method 5, but method 4 and method 5 are the most efficient, I think. Okay, so we're going to use the equivalent ratios and we're going to use cross multiplication with proportions. So example 1 is find the percent. It says of 80 customers that ordered an appetizer with their dinner, 16 of them ordered soup. We want to know what percent of the customers ordered soup as an appetizer. So you can do it either way you want. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up our proportion. We'll solve it using equivalent ratios, or we will solve it using cross multiplication. So first thing we want to do is identify our important information. So there were 80 customers. It says of 80 customers. So if that says of 80 customers, that means that 80 is the whole. Okay, that is all of the customers. That's the whole. And 16 of them ordered soup. And that's the part. That's the part. So the question is, what percent ordered soup as an appetizer? So there is what we're looking for. If we wanted to write a what number question, we could say 16 is what percent of 80? Okay, so that's a what number question that we can write. So let's set up our proportion. So again, our formula is percent over 100 is equal to the part over the whole. So let's see, percent over 100. Well, it says here, what percent? We don't know what that is. That's going to be our x. So we're going to put x over 100. And then the part, that's the is number, that's 16. And the of, oops, let me use red. The of is the 80. That's the whole. So here we've got 16 over 80. Now on this one, I would probably choose to do cross multiplication because I can't get from 80 to 100 directly, okay? So I'm going to cross multiply. So on one side, I have 1600, and that's equal to 80 times x, which is 80x. And then now we divide by 80 on both sides. Those 80s cancel. We can also simplify a pair of zeros out. So x is equal to, it goes into 16 two times. So x is equal to 20 customers ordered soup. Now, if you wanted to use the equivalent ratios, we could always simplify 16/80ths. If I divide by 4 and 4, then I would end up with 4 20ths. Okay? So now we can say, how do I get from 20 to 100? Well, you can get to 20 to 100 by multiplying times 5. So if I wanted to get from 4 to x, we will also multiply times 5. So 4 times 5 is 20. So again, x is equal to 20 customers. All right, so I'd like for you to take 2 minutes to work on this next one with your partners, with your table partners. It says Nate saved $150 to buy a new pair of basketball shoes. The shoes were on sale for $90. What percent of 150 is 90? So again, the first thing you want to do is write your formula. So here we have percent over 100 is equal to the part over the whole. So if you look at here, it already gives you your what number question. You see right there? That's your what number question. And you can see we're solving for the percent. That's going to be our x. The of number is 150. That's the whole. And the is number, that's 90. That is the part. Okay? So we set up our proportion. We have x over 100 is equal to the part, which is 90, over the whole, which is 150. Okay? So now we can cross multiply. Cross multiply, and we get 90 times 100 is 9,000. And then x times 150, we have 150x, and then we'll divide by 150. So here, those 150s cancel, and we've got 9,000 divided by 150, and that gives us 60. So x is equal to 60. So this is 60%. Let's see. So this is what the percent of the discount was. So this is going to be 60 over 100. So this is a 60% off discount. Okay. You could also, I just noticed it, that if you wanted to, you could also simplify this by canceling out those zeros, and then you could simplify the 9/15ths by doing 9 and 15 divided by 3. So let's go ahead and just do that on the side, just so you can see it. So that would be x over 100 is equal to, if I divide this by 3, that would be 3. And then 15 divided by 3, that's 5. So now you can see, to get from 5 to 100, you're going to multiply times 20. So you're going to multiply times 20 in the numerator also, 20. So here, x will also give you 60%. Same thing. All right, so for example 2, we want to find the percent. It says, during a recent World Cup, one of the participating teams had 60 shots on goal and scored 21 goals. We want to know what percent of the shots on goal did the team score. So, we're looking for the percent. We've got a total of 60 shots on a goal, and they scored 21. That's the part. 60 is the whole. And we want to find out what is the percent. So if I were going to write a what number question, that would say 21 is what percent of 60? And now we can write our proportions. Okay? And again, we're going to write percent over 100 equals is over of, or part over whole. All right, so let's set up our proportion. So let's see, we've got what percent, that's what we're solving for, what percent. We have our is number over here is 21, that's the part. And we have our of number, 60, that's the whole. So we have x over 100 is equal to 21 over 60. So you can solve this either of the methods. So let's start with the equivalent ratios. Let's see, can I simplify that? Let's divide by 3. Okay, so if I simplify it by dividing by 3 here, that's going to give me 7 over 20. Look at that. Yes, I can use this. So 20 to 100, we're going to multiply times 5. So we're going to multiply times 5 in the numerator too. So that's going to give us x is equal to 7 times 5, which is 35 over 100, which is 35% of the shots. Okay? On the other side, we can cross multiply. So let's do that. So we're going to cross multiply. And on one side, 21 times 100, it's 2100, 2100, is equal to x times 60, which is 60x. Then we're going to divide both sides by 60. Those 60s cancel. And x is equal to 2100 divided by 60. That gives us 35. So this again gives us 35%. So you can see either way, either method is going to get you to the same answer. Okay? So take 2 minutes and work on this one with your table partners. So it says, on a recent test, 78 out of Mrs. Jacobson's 120 students earned an A or a B. What percent of the students is this? So we've got 78 students earned an A or a B. That is all this, the 78 out of all of Mrs. Jacobson's students, which is 120. And we want to know what percent is that. So if I were going to write a what number question, I could say 78 is what percent of 120. Okay. Yep. Okay, so we can write that what number question. So now we can set up our proportion. So again, we're going to use our formula. Okay, here's our formula. Let's see here. Here's our formula. Percent over 100 equals part over whole. So the percent, again, that's what we're looking for. Wherever it says what, that's our x. We have the is number, which is the part, that's 78. And we have the of number, that's the total number of students, 120. So we have x over 100 is equal to 78 over 120. And now we can simplify, cross multiply. Make sure you follow your arrows. 78 times 100, 7,800, or 7,800. On the other side, we have x times 120. That's 120x. And then we're going to divide by 120 on both sides. And 7,800 divided by 120 gives us 65. So this is going to be x is equal to 65%. So 65 of Miss Jacobson's students earned an A or a B. All right, in example 3, finally, we've got some applications. So it says a table shows the favorite type of movie of 6th grade students at Franklin Middle School. What percent of the students said their favorite type of movie was comedy or romance? So, let's see. We have what percent of the students, so of the students, said their favorite was comedy or romance. So, when we're looking for the total students here, we need the total number of students. That's of all of the students. We want to know what percent is that. So we're looking for the percent. That's our our percent. And we want to look for the part that is a comedy or a romance. So this is part. I wrote total up here, but I think I want to write the whole. So let's write whole up there. Okay, now we know that, let's see, comedy or romance. So here's comedy, that's 88 of the students, and romance is 32 of the students. So to get the total of that, you're just going to add those together, okay? So we've got 88 plus 32, that's 10, and that's 12, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 120 students chose comedy or romance. Now, we want the whole 6th grade. So we want to add all of those to get the total. So we've got 75 plus 88 plus 35 plus 32 plus 70. So that's going to give us 300 total students in the 6th grade. So now, the part is 120. All of the students, that's 300, and we're looking for the percent. So the first thing you want to do is write your formula. Percent over 100 is equal to part over whole. And now we can write our proportion. So percent, that's what we're looking for, so that's x over 100 is equal to the part, which is the 120, and the whole, which is all of the 6th graders, that's 300. And now we can cross multiply. So let's do it. We cross multiply. And on one side we have 120 times 100. That's going to be 12,000. And we're going to have on the other side x times 300, which is 300x. So now, we can divide by 300 on both sides. Those 300s will cancel. And over here, remember, you can simplify out pairs of zeros. So that means when we cancel out 2 pairs of zeros, that meant that we divided by 100. So now we can simplify. So x, let's see, 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 3 goes into 0 0 times. So here, this is going to be 40 over 100. So this is 40% prefer comedy, I'll just put C, or romance, R. All right, last one. I'm going to take 2 minutes and work on this one with your table partners. It says the table shows the number of times a different food was ordered from a food truck over the weekend. We want to know what percent of the orders were for chicken, pita, or nachos. Okay, so again, we're looking for what percent of the orders. When we say of the orders, we mean of all of the orders. And we're looking for the people who chose, the percent of people who chose chicken pita or nachos. Okay? So again, the first thing we're going to do is write our formula. So here's our formula. It's percent over 100 is equal to part over whole. So again, we're looking for the percent. So that is going to be x over 100. We don't know what it is. The part is the chicken, pita, or nachos. So go to your chart. Here's chicken pita, and here's nachos. So that 35, write it down, 35 plus 65, of course, look at that, gives us 100. 9, 10. Okay, so that's going to be 100, and that's going to be the part. So that goes up here. And then for the whole thing, we just add up the whole list. So we've got that 100 plus 20 plus 40, that's 60. So that's going to give us 160. So this here is 160. So it's 160 orders. And that goes in the denominator. So that's 160. And now we can cross multiply. I could simplify before we do this, but we got calculators, so it doesn't matter. So we've got 100 times 100. That's going to be 1 with 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. And then on the other side, we have x times 160. That's 160x. And then to get the x by itself, you're going to divide by 160 on both sides. Those 160s cancel. And x is equal to 10, 1, 2, 3, divided by 160, and that gives us 62.5. So x is equal to 62.5% of the people chose or ordered chicken pita or nachos. All right, so now you can work on your homework. It is page 139, and it's 1 through 11 odd. That's only 6 problems, and you need to make sure you put your answers into McGraw-Hill so you can check your answers.